Limited company owners, do you fancy everybody and their dog seeing your profit or loss from your limited company on a public record? Well, it could happen, so watch on. As a business accountant, my team and I spend all day long helping business owners on their journey, and some real shocking news I've seen recently. So I'm a bit of a sad act. I do like to get involved and read quite a few white papers, case law, lots of things that come out, lots of information, and it gets me quite excited. However, this one did actually get me quite worried from a commercial point of view. Bit of backstory about me. I was always a business owner before I was an accountant, and still have other businesses as well as the accountancy business that is my day job with my team here. The first thing I saw when I saw these new companies house reforms was a worry from a commercial point of view. So let me talk to you about that in this video. But before we get into it, if you like these type of videos, make sure to click the subscribe button below so you get notified whenever we release more videos just like this one. So a quick reminder, Companies House is the place where your accounts go. So at the minute, you can search up anything you like on Companies House for a company, and you can see their company accounts, and you can see limited information. Most small businesses, so not your big PLCs and listed companies and all these kind of people, they have to put full accounts, but for most people in the small business world, you'll see there's like what they call a balance sheet, shows kind of the overall health of the business. And if you're learned, you might be able to get a bit of an idea about the kind of the health of the business, but you can't see like how much money they turn over, how much they spent on wages this year or anything like that. Some companies will do that because they can, but nearly all small businesses, especially if they've got an accountant, will not do that because it's not commercially a good idea, as we're going to be able to talk about. So what's happened recently, and there's 10.2 billion searches last year, so that's the 2021 year, inside that portal. So there's a lot of people interested in this data, and that includes, of course, like credit referencing agencies, lenders and the like, but also just people might be your competition, might be nosy, you don't know, but it's quite a nice thing. I spent my life searching it for business and professional reasons, but it is a popular search. Now currently, as we said, you don't have to submit your profit and loss data. And for a lot of startups, that's great. Imagine you've come out, you're a really good business consultant, you're consulting with corporates, you come out of your corporate job, you set up a small company. It might take quite a while for you to get some profits. You might even make a loss because you've got setup fees, IT, all this stuff that you've got to put in there. And then that's fine. No one knows. It's fine. You can go because you're a good business person. You just it's just the nature of the timing. You might have just not got any clients initially, shown no income in the first year because it was a long time. But time's passed. You filed your accounts. Nothing wrong with that. It's quite normal. But what may happen under these rule changes that are being presented, and I'll explain the history of where they come from in a minute, is people may be able to see that information. And if you're looking to hire a business consultant, you see they made a loss year one, and you're not used to seeing the kind of things I would see all day long, think, well, that's quite normal, and you can see that what's happened, then you might choose not to deal business with them, and that is a really anti-commercial thing for us as the UK business market. So I want to talk a bit more about that. But for now, where did this come from? So there's a white paper for Companies House transparency reforms. So they've looked at it and they've said, look, we think as a country we've got a problem with fraud. And doing what we do on YouTube and all the rest of it, we get approached by a lot of people from foreign countries looking to set up businesses in the UK. Now that's not something that we get involved with because we don't feel like we add a lot of value to it. But when I ask them about why, and when my team asks them about why they want to do it, a lot of the time they just say, well, it's easy to do business in the UK. It's easy to set up companies, there's low kind of paperwork. I know a lot of business owners in the UK wouldn't agree with that, but comparatively to other countries in Europe particularly, it's quite good. They feel it's a low tax environment and all the rest of it. So that's a good thing, and I do think generally, like especially if you're a sole trader, it's a really easy, currently, there'll be more videos talking about the changes there, but it's currently quite easy to get going in business. And a limited company is the same thing. Where the limited company difficulties come is when you do need to get normally an accountant to help you file all the stuff at the year end. But in regulation terms, it's not that heavy. So what they're worried about is, of course, a lot of people fraudulently registering corporations here and all the rest of it. There's always, if you put funny names into Companies House, you'll always find somebody like there'll be a Mickey Mouse or religious figures, whatever. So it's far too easy. So they're looking at all different ways they can do this. If you look at the amount of fraud that happened with bounce back loans, for example, there's limited information. So but was one of the suggestions in this white paper is that small companies would have to show their profit and loss account that they don't currently need to do. And for me, that is a massive commercial issue for the reasons we've just said. When you're looking to work with customers, they can see how you're doing. I should say as well, actually, that the full account, so that all that data when we're talking about fraud, revenue customs have that. As us as accountants, we do two sets. We do a set for Companies House that don't have that profit and loss detail on it for exactly that commercial reason. And then we have a full one that revenue and customs have. So all Companies House need to do if the issue is they want to see it is ask the other department. I don't know how easy that is, but if that's not easy, that should be easy, because going back to bounce back loan fraud and all these things, that would have been a great check to be able to have done at the time. So definitely, I think that's more of an impactful thing to do than to just make people stick up all these details. And I think we don't teach most of this stuff in school. One of the reasons the YouTube channel is relatively popular is because people have a thirst and a need for this knowledge that we're not taught. So what will happen, I suspect, is that people will go straight to the profit and loss account and see a profit. So let's say you're working for someone and you look, I'll just check out how my employer's doing, and you see a profit there of 100 grand. You think, well, I must be able to have a pay rise, but you don't know how to read the balance sheet potentially. You don't know what you're looking at. That profit could have all been reinvested. It could be the only year they've made profit in the last 10, and in actual fact, they're actually on the brink of going out of business. You're like, they're making all this money. So there's all these problems with it to showing that data. So employees, customers, as you say, neighbours, anybody that wants to see it, potentially seeing that. Now, at the moment, it's only a draft. It's being talked about and suggested. But when I saw the responses, so how these things work is there's a consultation and then there's like a responses. A lot of people are like, yeah, this is a great idea. And I wholeheartedly support the idea that we need more sort of stringent looks at things going on Companies House, 100%. But from a commercial point of view and a UK business point of view, for me, and hopefully you agree with this, I'd love to hear your comments down below. If you do, agree with me on this, I don't think it's a good commercial idea to do that. I think it's actually super, super damaging for what is a really vibrant kind of small business world here in the UK. So that's the issues. So what the point of doing this video is, I don't think enough people know about it, and particularly if you're in touch with local MPs, business groups, and all the rest of it, I want people talking about this. I want it fed back. I know I've been talking to the Federation of Small Business about this, which is my initial go-to, and I know they've been in contact with the people about this. So, but I just want people to know that it's there and that it's being suggested, and because it's one of those things I think that could fly under the radar. And before you know it, suddenly we have to start submitting this. So it's not about hiding things, but it is about commercially sensitive data being out there for the world to see. We didn't even talk about your competition looking at these things, but I think just for I don't know, it's just very anti-business for me. So let me know what you think. If you disagree with us, even better, bung it in there. We'll have a debate. I have seen there are some accountants who think it's a good trade-off for the fact that you get limited liability as a limited company, that you should have some penalty. But I already think there's enough data out there that you have to display. You don't need to see warts and all style stuff. So there we go. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.